Diepsloot residents say they are fed up with a lack of police visibility. Just last night, they took to the streets in protest to raise concerns over surging crime levels. They claim the police abandoned them and criminals have taken over. And they've now vowed to continue their protest this morning and are demanding the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, to intervene. Well, of course, my colleague eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is in Diepsloot at this moment, joining us live now for this update. Manqoba, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. What's happening from where you stand?
Well, Tumela, I can certainly tell you that the protest has reignited here in Diepsloot, and community members are up in arms. They're out on the streets, continuing with their demand for police here in the area to take their issues of crime seriously. I'm just going to show you and step outside of shot so that you can have a sense of what is really happening here. The residents have already barricaded some of the streets here, the main streets in this particular community, and they are saying that they want, the attention of the president. They want President Cyril Ramaphosa to come to this community to listen to some of their concerns as far as crime is concerned. And this really started about 2 weeks ago, Tumelo, when residents had marched to the police station here in Diepsloot, demanding police to address the issues of crime in this community. Of course, they accuse the police of being complacent to criminal activity, of not doing their job, of not stopping criminals in this community. And they're talking about some of the serious crimes that happen in this community. Those include robberies, which they say are usually accompanied by murder. So the residents had handed over that memorandum, hoping for some sort of response from the police as far as this is concerned. And this had followed the deaths that had happened here in this area of 3 people that had been robbed and killed just 3 weeks ago. And when they handed over that memorandum, they were expecting some response from the police. They'd given them some time to go over some of their demands and ultimately then, decide or come back to the community as far as what they're going to do to try and deal with the issue of crime is concerned in this community. But just after that particular march had happened, Tumelo, there was then 2 more robberies, we believe, that happened in this community, where about 3 people were shot at, and 2 of them had died just a day after that protest was held. And subsequent to that, another 3rd person, we understand, died earlier this week, in fact on Sunday, we're told. And so this is really what has sparked this round of protests now. The victim, we understand, was a former community policing forum chair of this particular area. So the residents are saying that it doesn't seem like it's getting any better in terms of crime, and they still haven't received any responses from the police as to what's really going to happen with this situation. And people are saying that they've had enough with criminals taking advantage of this community. So they're out here on the streets, Tumelo. And we can just see some of the businesses that were affected yesterday when we were here at the scene, where yesterday the community members had dismantled some of those businesses. There's a trail of destruction that we saw this morning. They targeted some of the shops that are owned by illegal, or let me not rather say illegal, but according to what they're saying that these are illegal foreign nationals that are owning those particular shops. And they're saying that they want those particular shops to be closed because they're harboring criminals in this community. So this is what they are saying as far as that is concerned. So many of those shops were dismantled last night. They were burnt, some of them last night. And today we're seeing many of the shops here in this area also being shut, the owners not wanting to take a risk because of this protest that has just reignited here in this community. But the community is saying that they're going to continue with this particular protest up until they get the attention that they want. Of course, we know that the police minister was also here in this community last year. He came here on 2 occasions where he had addressed residents as far as the issues of crime are concerned, promising that they are going to try and deal with the situation and try to have measures and interventions to see to it that crime is reduced in this community. But the community is saying that that is not enough. and they're not seeing that being translated into action on the ground. And they're still going to continue with this particular protest, Tumelo. We're going to try to speak to some of the community leaders later on, just to get a sense of the frustrations here and what's going to happen with this particular protest. But I can tell you, Tumelo, that this protest is continuing, and residents are saying that they are going to continue with their protest up until their demands in terms of dealing with crime in this community are addressed.
Yeah. Earlier on, colleague, when you alluded to the fact that the community is saying they want the attention of the president, did they articulate and further elaborate what exactly they demand from President Cyril Ramaphosa? I'm asking this because you mentioned that Police Minister Diepsloot was in the area some time ago. So it seems they're not satisfied with the work of the police minister and now want to escalate it to the president's attention.
Indeed, Tumelo. In fact, when we spoke to some of the community leaders yesterday, they were telling us, Tumelo, that they're not entirely happy with, what they were promised by the police minister. In fact, they're saying that they've lost hope and faith in the police minister and what the police top brass had to say as far as dealing with crime in this community is concerned, because nothing has changed. Up until now, they're saying that the crimes continue unabated in this community, and there doesn't seem to be any action from the police. There doesn't seem to be any change of attitude from the police in this area, who they say are simply failing this community. They're not responding to crimes on time, and in fact, they're nowhere to be seen when these crimes happen. We understand that, some of the community members saying that even when police are called to this community, they take time to respond to some of the complaints. So there seems to be, a break in relation as far as trust is concerned between the community as well as the police, who they say are simply failing them. So they're saying that they don't want the police minister here this time around. They've heard enough from the police minister, but they've seen very little action as far as crime is concerned. So they want the president to come here and hear their demands and address some of their issues, because they are saying that, up until now, nothing has changed in this community. And that's the reason why they're saying that they don't want the police minister to come here. They have heard enough from the police minister. They'll want the president to come and listen to their demands and to try and perhaps give them a resolution as a community as to what's going to happen going forward with the issue of crime here, because they're saying that they're fed up with crime in the area, and they're saying that they want to see action, and they want to see action now.